And here comes Volusia County Sheriff Mike Chitwood. Let's go ahead and listen in.
So thank you all for coming. Obviously, we have the mayor of Edgewater, the interim city manager is here, Detective McGuire, who's the point person on the case, the point investigator. State attorney's office is here. What we're going to do is I want to give you some updates. Then I'm going to play a short snippet of the video, and it's going to stop just short of when the gunshots ring out. And then the mayor and the city manager are going to talk about David and what's occurring, and we'll answer some of your questions. There's still a lot of questions that we cannot answer, okay? There's things that the family are telling us that we're not able to prove conclusively. So what I want to start off with is this. On September the 5th, our assassin went to Buck's gun rack and purchased a Glock Model 20 10mm handgun for $729. He then had to wait the 3-day waiting period. Yesterday afternoon at 2 o'clock, he went to Buck's gun rack and picked up this weapon. 2 hours and 4 minutes later, firing 24 shots, 2 clips, into off-duty police officer David Juul, assassinating him on the spot. He has confessed that he did it. He has confessed that he knows the difference between right and wrong. He said that he had an argument with police officer Juul, but he doesn't know when that argument occurred or what that argument was about. He knows that Officer Juul carried a gun, but he doesn't remember if he saw him in uniform or it was some other time. For the record, Officer Juul was unarmed yesterday. And from what we understand from his family, when he's not working, he doesn't carry a firearm. So working with the state attorney's office, obviously, is a first-degree murder case. When you see the video, I think it's going to answer some questions. He also talks about and tells Detective McGuire that he thought earlier in the day of killing and shooting Officer Juul. And he was having a bad day. And then you'll see in the video, actually you might not see all of it in the video, but you'll see Officer Juul walk into the store and go back and get 2 drinks. And you'll see our assassin kind of walk past him, look at him, and go out to the car and retrieve that jacket. And then within a matter of, the whole thing takes about 2 minutes to transpire. And then we have what we have. And again, I will tell you, in 38 years of policing, homicide detective at the time, the 4th largest city in the country, to watch the evil and the calculatingness of what he did to Officer Juul, you cannot describe it. To unload, stop, reload, and then just go right back at it again and fire additional shots. Again, we're talking 24 shots from probably between 1 and 2 feet away. So, do I need to move this for the play the video, Brian, or are we good? We'll just move out of the way? Okay. So this is Officer Juul. He's already in the store. He's at the counter. He has 2 drinks. The clerk who was at the counter is back in the men's room. Our bad guy is left. Here he comes in, coat over his hand. There's the gun. And he fires the entire clip into the back of the officer. The officer lands on his back, face up. The suspect then backs up. Keep that up there for a second. The suspect then backs up by the display there with the orange candy or whatever it is. You watch him unload the clip, reload the clip, and then walk back up and fire the remaining shots into the officer's face and neck area. So, again, that gun is in his hands, 2 hours and 4 minutes. He talked about wanting to kill him. Now, some of the family members have told our detectives that he's been diagnosed with being bipolar and all this other stuff. We haven't confirmed that. He's allegedly being treated by telemed. We haven't confirmed that. He's allegedly on medication. We haven't confirmed any of that. But no matter what, I think, and I'm not an attorney, it's the state attorney's job, when you look at the totality of the circumstances here, and I'm not going out on a limb on saying this, that gun was bought for one purpose and one purpose alone. That gun was bought to assassinate police officer Juul for whatever reason this guy was thinking. We got his ATF forms to see what he put on there. And obviously, you know, when it comes to the part in the ATF form about being adjudicated or in a mental institution, he checks no. And there's no indication that says that. Have you ever been adjudicated as a mental defective, or have you ever been committed to a mental institution? He checks no. There is no anything to say that he lied on that. In 2023, park rangers in Tomoka Park get a call for somebody who's target practicing out there, and they get out there along with Ormond Beach PD, and he's got the same car that he retrieved the weapon from. He's got a rifle and a handgun in there. From what we could tell at this point in time, he was probably given an NTA, a notice to appear, for shooting in the park, and he had to complete a handgun safety program and a firearms safety program course and pay a minimal fine. We don't know where that handgun and that rifle are. We're assuming somebody took custody of that. A family member or somebody took custody of that after the incident. That's the only time we have any calls for service or any interaction with law enforcement. So before I turn it over to the mayor and the city manager, do you guys have any questions about what I just updated you guys on?
He was familiar with him under the context of being a customer. He said he had
Yeah, David and David's wife, who David's wife, by the way, was a dispatcher for us, and his father-in-law will live in the same house, 21 Wisteria. It's not that far away. So according to David's wife, she didn't really know him. She heard of him from her dad and from her husband, and they would go in there, lottery tickets. I mean, here you see them stopping on the way home. David just picked up his father-in-law from the hospital and was driving him back home. And they decided to stop and get a couple cold drinks and something else when this happened. So they're familiar. He has been, our assassin's been a employee of the Circle K for 3 years, not specifically that store. He rotates, but he's been working there. He's a Seabreeze student, or was a Seabreeze student. Can't tell you whether or not he graduated. And I think, and I don't know if I said this last night, you know, think of David's wife here. You know, her dad calls her and says, something happened at the Circle K. I don't know what it is, but I bet you Eduardo is involved, because he's out in his parking lot taking his shirt off. He takes his Circle K shirt off, puts another shirt on. She then, Elizabeth, his wife, who used to be a dispatcher for us, goes and gets his police radio and turns it on and is listening live to everything that's going on. Everything that's going on. She hears who it was. She knows her husband was pronounced dead at the scene. She knows all this stuff before we really even get a chance to go down and talk to her. So I cannot imagine what's going through that. David has a 17-year-old son that I spoke to his ex-wife, his mom, who worked for us for a while. And, you know, I had a dispatcher write us something who worked with him. And it basically said that, you know, when he worked with David as a member of the communication center, him and his wife were just outstanding people. We had lunch together. When this person, Ron, came over from Deltona Fire Dispatch, he welcomed them with open arms. We had lots of laughs. One night my motorcycle broke down, and I had to come back to get it after hours to pick it up. And the first person to volunteer to help me load it onto the trailer was David. That was what he was all about, always willing to help people out. And if you look at his career, you know, starts here in 2006 in evac. Then he shifts over to the telecommunicators side. Then he goes over to Lake Helen for a short period of time. And then, obviously, he goes to work for Edgewater. So we're talking about a person who spent most of his adult life, at least the last 19 years, trying to keep and help Volusia County. So, Mayor and Mr. City Manager.
Morning. I'm Joe Mahoney. I'm the interim city manager with Edgewater. Previous to that, I was a chief of police for the City of Edgewater Police Department. I swore David Juul into office in 2023. He was truly a great police officer and a better person. He was the individual that would smile every morning. He'd walk into the station and he'd greet command staff, all our admin staff, and he was that cordial guy. He always went above and beyond to do the small things in the community. You know, he's the guy that would be helping the disabled vehicle and going above and beyond to to really show we care and he cares for our community. You know, he didn't deserve to die in this cowardly act. It's really disgusting. It's been a tough almost 24 hours for the Edgewater community. But you know, when you take away that title of officer, he's a human. He is a father, he's a husband, and he's a son. We have to remember that outside the uniform, these police officers are people. The city is going to create a GoFundMe page. The official link will be on the Edgewater Police Department social media. So I'm sure we'll get some more clowns out there that will try to profit off this tragedy. So please go to our official link. Our Facebook page will have that. If you need to confirm it, please reach out to our police department. And I just want to send my condolences to his family. He really was truly a great man. Thank you. Mr. Mayor.
Good morning. This is truly one of the saddest things I've ever seen in the community of Edgewater. David was a wonderful individual who served his community. He truly gave public service his whole entire adult life to public service. He's a tremendous individual. The city of Edgewater and the community as a whole is mourning his loss. His dedication to public service will never be unnoticed. We're going to do several things to remember him in the city of Edgewater. I believe we're putting his car out front of the police station currently. He was a tremendous individual. As a member of the city council, I can speak for the whole city council that we send our deepest condolences to the family, to his son. This should have never happened. What a coward. I want to thank Mike Chitwood for his wonderful job that he's done to make sure that this individual will be punished to the full extent of the law. This should have never happened. What a coward. It couldn't have happened to a greater individual. The city of Edgewater is mourning this loss as a whole, and the community support, I've never seen it stronger. Thank you.
You guys got any questions for anybody?
I mean, just for them, I mean, are there any resources for your officers? How do you guys now try to just move forward?
Sure, we have critical incident counselors in place. You know, we are a 34 officer department, so it's kind of a close-knit family. There's a lot of support there. It's very personable. No one's a number in our agency. Everybody knows everybody. So that support system's there. And you know, they're handling it the best they can. And, you know, policing, we still have to go out and police the next day. So we're out there, you know, handling business for our citizens. And every man or woman that is part of our department is excellent. And I've always been proud to serve alongside them. Although I'm in the interim city manager role now, we have a great acting chief in place, and I can't say enough about our department. They're great, and they make me proud every day.
Definitely agree.
Sheriff, I have a question about the other person who was in there at the
Yep.
time. Are they cooperate? Are they a witness?
Yeah, they've been nothing but. They, you know, the gentleman was in the men's room, heard the shots, comes out, he sees David. He sees his coworker out in the parking lot, changing his shirt, taking his Circle K shirt off, and he assumes that somebody was in there targeting the Circle K, and he figures, I better get the hell out of here. And then I think obviously there's a conversation that occurs where he's the guy that actually calls 911 as our assassin is walking away. And again, you know, it was a really quick response at live 911. The deputies heard it. They were there. The investigators have been working around the clock. The state attorney's office has been on this, as they are every homicide. There's in this homicide, we have a off-duty police officer who was killed, but everything we're doing is what we do for any homicide. Just harder because all of us have had a connection to this individual.
And Officer Juul, reminder, I mean, he did not see it. He did not see it coming.
We're waiting for the autopsy results, and I know when I went to bed last night, my prayer was that he didn't feel anything, that the first shot killed him, and everything else that happened afterwards, it's just that first shot killed him. That's what my prayer is, that's the way he left this world, was that way, without having to lay there helpless and watching that second, knowing that second barrage was coming in. So, you guys good? All right. Thank you very much for coming over.